Let me get comfy and tell you what the shit show my first triathlon was. But first, let's back up. Love motorcycles, raced professionally for a few years. Lots of little issues that happen. I won't bore everybody with the story there. Got really hurt. Couldn't walk for a few years. Finally finished rehab and all that kind of mumbo jumbo. And I finally was having a kid, and I stumbled across a book that was called Raising Men, and the author was a Navy SEAL, and he said a lot about exercise. It is not a luxury, it is an obligation, because exercise for the body is like reading is for the mind. It made me think. Some of the happiest times I've ever been was because I was exercising. Yes, was I doing it wrong? Abso-effing-lutely. I was always pushing myself because I felt like if I didn't blood, sweat, and tear it, there was somebody there that was doing it better. And I feel like that is the ideology that comes with social media, where you think that you need to just bang your head against the wall until you actually break through the wall. And instead, really what you do is you end up just cracking your skull open. So anyway, I started exercising more. And I started getting into the Spartan races once I could finally kind of run again. Yes, I have a pretty gnarly limp because of the nerve damage I have in my foot. But I was still like, you know what? Let's do this. Let's have a little bit different mindset at it. And then for some silly freaking reason, I was like, dude, I suck at swimming. I want to do something that scares me, so let's do an Ironman. Let's do an Ironman. So I got in touch with Coach Robb, and he has been fabulous, freaking marvelous. Dude has helped me so much. But right now, I'm struggling. I'm struggling a little bit right now. I had my first Olympic triathlon, and guess what? Guess what? I got my freaky ass handed to me. I panicked in the water. I had to have the song of Finding Nemo, just keep swimming, and once I finally stick my head up, I'm like, wow, I'm 400 yards the opposite direction of the buoys. So I ended up spending like 15 minutes in the water too long. However, I did complete it, and that was my goal. It doesn't matter what happens to you. It's matter how you react to it, because the world is going to shit on you. Plain and simple. It's going to take a giant dump right on your head. I believe that's kind of what birds like to do in this world, is anything that they think that should be shit on, they do it, and they laugh about it. So it keeps them young, whatever. You know, I've got a friend of mine who is completely deathly afraid of birds, and I always giggle whenever we go to the park or something, and there's all these, you know, pigeons everywhere. I just think of him and how bad it would be for him internally, because reality is perception. It is not physically what's happening to us, because you could be freaking out about something that isn't anything worth freaking out about, right? Like panicking in the water when there's a bunch of people around you that could save your ass. Exactly. So you got to take a step back, realize what's going on. But without further digression, I was sick all week long. You know, I've spent countless hours training for this stuff, and I told my coach, hey, I want to do this Olympic triathlon, which is like half of what the Ironman is going to be for me, at least the half Ironman, the 70.2 kilometers. And he was like, Johnny, first off, you didn't give me a good warning. Second off, what the hell are you doing? Because it's not in your training program, and it sounds like you're sicker than a dog. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm going to panic in the water. I'm going to panic in the water, and it's something that I need to get through. The obstacle in the way becomes the way. You just got to make sure you embrace it and take it with a grain of salt, and don't expect so much. And coach was telling me, Johnny, you're a racer. Your ego's going to hurt. And I told him, no, I'm above all that bullshit, all that nonsense. I am a better man. I've done a lot of work on myself, and I've got hundreds of books to prove it. He's like, all right, Johnny, well, you know, just start off slow. I was like, okay. Couldn't breathe, none of that thing. Finally, I was planning on waking up at 2 a.m. to go to the race, and then dawned on me. I've gotten my entire family sick. Everybody has like 101 fever. Maybe we shouldn't leave at 2 a.m. And they wanted to support me, right? So here in Arizona, I don't have near the support system that I had in Colorado. So it's like, all right, let's go get a hotel. We'll try to get some sleep and we can break the fevers and it'll be good. So we get up to Flagstaff like about, I don't know, maybe 7, 8 o'clock. And we're heading into bed. And my little girl, again, she's sick. She did not sleep. She pretty much screamed the entire time. So I think my wife and I got collectively maybe 4 hours of non-continuous sleep. So when I woke up, told myself, all right, I just need to adjust my expectations because I know I could be top 10%. I know I can run 7-minute miles, not off a 30-mile bike ride, but, we will see what happens. I know that I can swim at about 1 minute and 50-second pace. I know that. I know that my FTP is around 240 watts, so I have a feeling that I can be pretty strong. Fast forward. I told myself it's just finishing time. That's all we're doing. We're here just to finish so I can sense things out. Panicked in the water. Had to take some breather, ended up swimming close to the half Ironman distance in the water, got out, almost dead last, took a breather, got my bicycle, ended up going, didn't check the shitty tires that I had on, so I instantly, about a mile down the road, popped my effing tube, and I thought to myself, as I'm blowing a crap ton of, I almost wanted to say nos, but snot out of my nose, I'm going, okay, Johnny, it's okay to throw in the towel at this point. It just wasn't meant to be. You did the thing that scared you. That's good. Should be well. And I'm like, no, Johnny, that's F that. You never quit. So I got my little tube out, changed my tire about 20 minutes later. Realistically, probably 10 minutes later. Putting it all together. Ended up scratching my DT Swiss wheel pretty bad because I only had one tire changing tool. And hey, I know there's people out there that can change a tire with fingers. I'm not that individual. And I put the new tube in, got the CO2, pumped it up, left it on there too long, and, decided to pop that tube as well. I thought I was holding air, but got about half a mile down the road again, and my tube is popped. Got another flat tire. So at that point, I was really throwing in the towel. Threw my bicycle over my shoulder, started walking back. About 10 minutes later, got this crew of the Mountain Man people, very nice individuals that were like, hey, do you need help? And I thought to myself to be like, nope, I'm done. It's over with. I'm sick. My bike's busted. I'm about 45 minutes behind everybody. I am out. I am SOL. Boom. I'm like, oh, we got tubes. And then it just dawned on me. You don't give up. You don't give up. The obstacle in a way becomes the way. How you react to it is what determines your reality. So I was like, okay, you know what? I could use some help. So they helped me. Got it all done. About, at this point, because I had help, 5 minutes later, I was down the road. All right. I'm about an hour behind everybody. And I decided to just stay around zone 3 because, again, I was sick. So I'm like, hey, let's kind of just recover. And I rode my own race. Got off the bicycle. Everyone at that point pretty much was finished. It was about 3 hours, and then I still had a 6-mile run. So I ended up running.
Loveland.
Real nice.
Why don't we split
Weather
up to look for
was
elbow?
98.
It'll be quicker
Just looking at
and
the trees.
safer. Purple
Ended up
Summer
keeping
and
my
I
heart rate
will check
about
all the beaches
160.
on the east side of the
And
island.
what really
And
pissed
Cutter
me
Dak
off
and
was
I will
on
get
my
a
way
dragon's eye
back.
view from above.
A lot of the guys that
You
were
and
loading
Zeppel
up
can
were like,
fly
hey,
home on the
man, you're doing a good job. Just keep at it. You'll get better. And for some reason, it really pissed me off. I'm over here trying to manage my expectations and my ego. And I just was like, you know what? F you guys. You guys don't know what happened, what circumstances are going on. And then it also dawned on me that, I don't know what circumstances they were on. It was probably just a really genuine statement. And for me to be taking it out of context is ignorant. Absolutely ignorant. And so I finished, got my medal, And if I'm being honest, I'm a little discouraged because, yes, coach, I told you my ego wouldn't be hurt, but you know what? It's a little damaged. It's Thursday now, and I've decided I didn't want to do anything. I've been putting a lot of time and effort into this, and it's just becoming a lot. I got all the YouTube stuff. I've got the real estate stuff. I've got being dad 24/7 as my little girl just woke up right now. You know, the times that I can do the couple hours of exercise every day, it's got to be about 5 a.m. So I end up getting about 6 hours of sleep, right? So that's not to say that people don't do a better job than I do, because I 100% know that there's people that have much larger grit than I do. For me, I'm just getting at a breaking point where I'm like, why am I deciding to go do 12 hours of exercise a week to get my ass kicked? And I'm spending less time with my family and etc. You know, I'm oversharing at the moment, right? I'm oversharing, and I know oversharing usually gets me in trouble. Pretty much every single time it does. But if I'm being honest, part of me wants to just throw in the towel completely and say, you know what? I give up. On a lot of things. A lot of things. I could go in-depth therapy. But you know what? I'm not going to. I'm going to take a breather. I'm going to continue to be daddy daycare 24/7 while my wife does something that most people have never done, becoming a doctor while being a mom. Somebody with my level of injuries, not to say that people haven't had it worse than me, but a couple rods, 2 messed up shoulders, I can panic in the water some more. I can run. I can wobble. I can ride a bike. I can change tires. I can pull myself off the ground. So I'm going to continue to keep moving forward and try to have a decent outlook on finishing. Because the competitor in me, if I was to race with somebody, that would have made the whole thing a little bit better. But instead, I was stuck in my world. I was way behind. And I think that's what really has messed with my psychosis just a little bit, is it's the competitor in me. And if we go back to the start of the series, I was saying that, dude, it's not about setting the pavement on fire, because I believe I can't. I've got some limiting factors. However, I can't get rid of that competitor in me. And that's why I was like, no, I'm just going to go back to all the Spartan races, because I was good at it. You know, every time I raced it, I was top 10. And here, you know, I was 85th out of 100. But yes, I could say I was up against the wall. I shouldn't even been there. I was sick. You know, my whole family was sick. I got some flat tires, you know, whatever. But that stuff is just things that happened. That's all it is. It's just things that happened. If I look at it, well, now I know I should probably bring new tires, right? Should probably make sure that I understand that a tire can only take so much CO2 before the tube blows. I should practice more on my swimming. Maybe I should get a sleeveless wetsuit so that my shoulders have less restriction, so they don't get so tired and have one fin out there with just one arm. And I learned a lot. I did. So I need to take that all into consideration and be the better version of myself than what I was when I was much younger. So I do want to say thank you, everybody that has joined me in this journey. And it's not over with, right? It's not about the destination. It's about the journey. Because if it was easy, and you could insert anything into this explanation. If it was easy, there would be no meaning for doing it whatsoever. The accomplishment wouldn't effing matter. But because it's difficult on you, it makes it meaningful. And to live is to suffer, and to find meaning in that suffering. Because without the suffering, everything that is worth enjoying means nothing. Absolutely nothing. Right? Anyway, it's Johnny Hopper. Till next time. Bra da 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 da.